Prime Minister Philip Davis congratulating the new Prime Minister of the United Kingdom, the man police believe is responsible for the torture and murder of James McPhee, formerly charged with murder today, and Goombay Summer Festival officially gets underway. Good evening, Bahamas. I'm Jarino Saunders, and this is your JCN Evening News, and it is a pleasure to have you joining us once again this evening. From his X account earlier today, Prime Minister Philip Davis congratulating Andy Burnham, the United Kingdom's new Prime Minister. Mr. Davis said the United Kingdom remains a valued and long-standing friend of the Bahamas. He said he looks forward to working with Prime Minister Burnham to deepen ties between our countries and advance shared interests. Meanwhile, the government and people of the Bahamas' thoughts and prayers still with the people of Guyana following the capsizing of the MV Barima ferry on Saturday, killing at least 2 people thus far, dozens still missing, feared drowned. 67 people were rescued thus far. In a statement, the Ministry of Foreign Affairs extended its prayers and well wishes to the government and the people of Guyana and stands with the family members of those who died. Rescue efforts and investigations continue into that matter as they try to get to the bottom of things there. Following the murder of James McPhee on Sunday, July 12th, in which 2 off-duty police officers witnessed a silver vehicle on Carmichael Road near Spikenard Road strike a male who was already on the ground, suffering from, now that we know, there were gunshot wounds and other injuries. Mr. McPhee died hours later in hospital. One of the 2 suspects was captured after a car chase and shootout with those 2 off-duty police officers. The one captured was suffering from a gunshot wound to the back area. McPhee, who was the victim of a robbery a few years earlier, was expected to appear in court as a witness against the man who robbed him. The media has now learned that one of the men who killed McPhee is the suspect in his robbery case. He had been recently released out on bail. Since the incident, the public has called for improved procedures for witness protection. While at the Royal Bahamas Defense Force Base on Thursday, Attorney General Senator Wayne Munro was asked for his views on the current witness protection program and what witnesses can do better to protect themselves.
Say there's a regime. If you feel trapped, you can go to the police. Let's assume, for instance, that you have 400 outstanding cases in which each one has a witness. You really not suggesting that you have to protect for 400 people. So the distinction is, if you feel threatened, you report it to the police. Sometimes it will lead to a revocation of bail, depending on why you feel threatened. In some extreme cases, people have been taken into witness action by the prosecuting authorities. So the important thing to note is, if you're a witness, if something happens that causes you to feel threatened, contact the police immediately.
The incident resulted in the 40th murder for the year. We are now up to 43 murders for the year. The suspect was scheduled to be arraigned in the magistrate's court today, charged with murder, 2 counts of attempted murder, possession of a firearm, and possession of an unlicensed firearm. We'll have more on exactly who that suspect is. There have been a number of fatal industrial accidents in the country this year, and on the weekend, the nation suffered yet another one. Police on the island of Bimini are investigating the circumstances surrounding the death of a 68-year-old man that occurred on Saturday on Kings Highway in Alistown, Bimini. Sometime around 2:35 p.m., a man had allegedly come into contact with a high-voltage electrical wire on the premises of a business establishment. Upon arrival, the local physician examined the victim and found no vital signs of life. The investigation so far indicates that the victim was painting alongside another male when he reportedly came into contact with that high-voltage transformer located between a building and the ground. The contact allegedly caused the victim to become engulfed in flames, killing him just about instantly. The poor and seemingly deteriorating conditions of roads in the capital and the Family Islands has been a major cause for concern for personal and commercial vehicle owners. The large number of sizable and deep potholes are causing damage to vehicles, while poor road markings and lighting resulting in motorists using their own high beams at nighttime, blinding oncoming drivers. while at the Office of the Prime Minister press briefing last week. Director of Works Robert Musos said that the ministry continues its ongoing maintenance of the existing road networks, including pothole patching, road repairs, and drainage clearings.
Roads already paved in New Providence in the last few months includes Sealing Drive, Buttonwood Street, Wonder Terrace, Beatrice Avenue North, Yamacore Beach Drive, Western Road, Button Street, Joe Farrington and the surrounding areas as part of the water main upgrades.
Mr. Musos said that the program continues through the remainder of the year and into next year as well. He also highlighted some of the work that has been done in the Family Islands already.
In Abaco, we're undertaking the rehabilitation of 5.5 miles of road and water line in the Sweetings Village community in Marsh Harbour. We're looking to mobilise immediately. This sits alongside the 6.1 million Central Pines road repairs and also doing Man o' War Quay, which is addressing ageing road infrastructure and drainage.
The Ministry of Works is committed to improving infrastructure in the Bahamas, creating infrastructure that is resilient and meets the needs of the Bahamian people. And finally, in this segment, the Goombay Summer Festival is back with a series of events that began on Saturday and will continue every Saturday for the remainder of the summer season. It was a night of celebration hosted by the Ministry of Tourism downtown. It was on Bay Street, featuring live music, lots of food, drinks, and cultural performances. Minister for Tourism Glenys Hannah Martin was also there, having a great time of her own.
Yeah, this event, this is the Goombay Festival, which started last few days throughout the nation, and there are festivals throughout the country, throughout the archipelago. Tonight it's Long Island, and I believe that last night was Abaco, Zandros, Grand Bahama, all through the country. They're hosting these events. This is very important because what this is doing is pausing and bringing a singular focus on everything that makes us who we are as Bahamians culturally. Our music, which you can hear in the background, the food, the drink, and just a grand celebration of our cultural identity and a reinforcement and a celebration. You know, and it's we all know who we are, I think, but at the end of the day, this is a celebration. So it's not just an acknowledgement. It's a celebration, and so it's a really wonderful event.
The minister also spoke to the strategic efforts of her ministry to address some issues impacting our tourism product and the maintenance of a high standard across the industry.
The transition from education into tourism has been a very natural one because education is at the core of everything in our national development, and tourism is an upspring from foundation. So a lot of the challenges we see are rooted in some of the challenges we might have seen in the system in education. I know it tells you the work that has to be undertaken, but I know in the mix of it all, we are a wonderful people. We have a wonderful nation, and our people are very good in tourism. It's been something we've been doing for a very long time, for the decades, and it's positioned the Bahamas over the years. But we can't become complacent, and when we have controversies or concerns, we have to address them. So we're doing a lot of things. We're looking at training, the revamping training of hospitality workers, of persons on the front line of tourism, so that they're able to understand the complex dynamics that are coming, particularly now with millions of cruise visitors, which is a huge undertaking in this small country. So we want to prepare our people so that they're able to navigate, adapt, welcome, and really give the best impression of who we are, which is a great people. I say that unashamedly.
Following a travel advisory released by the United States Embassy warning its citizens about safety issues related to the jet ski industry, Mrs. Hannah Martin says the government is working with United States officials to address those concerns. Well, we'll take a break here. We'll be right back following these commercials.
This segment of the news is brought to you by Sun Oil Limited.
Welcome back. The family of Antonio Bastian, a.k.a. Dodo. They need your help in locating him. Antonio, who is 45 years old, is from Love Hill, Andros. He was last seen on Tuesday, July 14th, He was reported missing on Thursday, July 16th. He is of dark brown complexion and slim build. If you know of his whereabouts, you are asked to contact the police on Andros at 329-2353. That's 329-2353. Or you can call 911. Remember, you can also remain anonymous by calling Crime Stoppers at 328-TIPS, 328-8477. The government's efforts to eliminate illegal shanty towns are now moving to Andros. During Thursday's Office of the Prime Minister's press briefing, the Minister of Works and Family Island Affairs, Clay Sweeting, said the officials were on the ground in North Andros serving notices to residents as part of the next phase of the government's shanty town enforcement program.
Today, the task force is in North Andros, assessing the structures there and providing the shanty town there with notices in regards to their 30 days, which is required by the Building Control Act.
The exercise follows last week's demolition of the Montgomery shanty town off Cowpen Road near the Flamingo Gardens community, as the government continues its crackdown on unregulated communities across the country. From the overnight police report, police are investigating an attempted abduction involving a 15-year-old girl yesterday in the area of Red Sea Road off Soldier Road, according to the preliminary reports. Shortly after 10 p.m., the girl's mother reported to the East Street South Police Station that around 6 p.m. that day, her 15-year-old daughter was walking along Red Sea Road when she was approached by two men traveling in a red Honda Fit with a white license plate attached. The suspects attempted to force the daughter into that vehicle while physically assaulting her as well, but she managed to break free and escape, after which time the suspects fled in an unknown direction. Police are looking for those men. And finally, for people suffering from various forms of disability, mobility is crucial to maintaining a good quality of life. And for the 5th year in a row, the People's Republic of China, through their embassy here in the Bahamas, has made it possible for individuals needing new equipment to access them. Alexandria Reckley has more in this next report.
It has been a total of 5 years of support from the Office of the Chinese Ambassador to individuals with disability through donations. This collaboration demonstrates that both nations continue to hold a strong alliance despite recent disputes around the globe. 2 months ago, a disability report released by the Bahamas National Statistical Institute revealed that the number of individuals with disabilities has doubled over the last decade. On Thursday, at the Ministry of Social Services hearing room on John F. Kennedy Drive, a press conference was held to present the 5th donation from Chinese ambassador to the Bahamas in collaboration with the Office of the Spouse of the Prime Minister, First Lady Anne-Marie Davis. The donation included 15 wheelchairs, canes, and crutches, totaling 45 items presented to the Ministry of Social Services.
It's 2 years ago, the First Lady and me, she had invited me a lot. And she's a strong advocate for vulnerable groups. And I feel honored and proud to be a partner that China and Bahamas can enjoy such kind of partnership, and also a bright sign of friendship that we can work together for the protection of rights and interests of vulnerable.
As the minister said during her remarks, the demand for devices is constant and will always be impactful for those in need. Zon Clark, a member of the disability community and an inspector of the National Commission for Persons with Disabilities, spoke to the need for such donations.
So the need was very great because we have a lot of persons with disabilities that do not have access to these devices because they're expensive and they just don't have the means to get them.
Meanwhile, although the donations are thoughtful and needed, Clark said, the infrastructure for many buildings does not accommodate persons with disabilities, and the healthcare system still needs work on accessibility.
People think that the healthcare industry is accessible because, most persons from disabilities come from the hospital, with injuries, like yourself. But what we realize is that the infrastructure needs updating based upon the different variations of wheelchairs.
The Minister of Social Services, Barbara Cartwright, said the ministry is working with the Department of Statistics to examine data on the increased population of persons with disabilities as it develops. Following the release of the disability report in May from the Bahamas National Statistical Institute, this donation symbolizes a way forward. I'm Alexandra Reckley, JCN News.
Thank you so much for that report, Alex. Well, folks, that'll do it for your JCN Evening News. Once again, I'm Jorino Saunders. Thank you so much for joining us.
This segment of the news has been brought to you by Sun Oil Limited.